Central Park is, of course, a great recreational amenity for the people of New York, but it's so much more than that. Central Park is one of the great works of art in America. The former Parks Commissioner Gordon Davis once said that it's a cultural accomplishment on the level of Moby Dick or the invention of jazz. It was this vision of Central Park over which Henry Hope Reed and Arthur Ross bonded. This is the Arthur Ross Pinetum, the gift of a native New Yorker whose love of Central Park began when he was a boy. By the 1970s, the park was the victim of severe cutbacks in park funding. It's against that background that Arthur Ross began to fund the restoration of many of the park's features and to serve as a founding board member of the Central Park Conservancy. As the pioneer of the walking tour, as a columnist for the New York Herald Tribune, as an advocate for historic preservation, by the mid-1960s, Henry Hope Reed had done more than anyone in his generation to educate New Yorkers about their built environment. In 1966, the New York City Parks Department appointed Henry curator of Central Park. 2 years after that, Henry, together with the architect John Barrington Bailey and others, formed the organization Classical America to promote the classical as a living language of design. In the years following, the friendship of Henry Hope Reed and Arthur Ross led to the annual celebration of classical architecture that we call the Arthur Ross Awards.
If you asked 10 different classical architects their definition of classicism, you'll get at least 10 different answers. Classical architecture is really a building block for a city and making neighborhoods where the buildings relate to one another.
The world of classicism is a world of timeless values. We recognize our predecessors and the shoulders we stand upon, and our work in classicism is a bridge to a future that might also share with that past.
I think classicism is about harmony and beauty and doing things once and doing them well so that they stand the test of time.
There's this deeply intrinsic connection between building and man in classical architecture, which I find very compelling. It's based on the proportions of the human body. Vitruvius wrote about it. Leonardo da Vinci did that famous drawing of the man. It's probably one of the most well-known depictions of that idea.
Classicism is the foundation. If you understand it, then you can take it further for our times in modern ways. So it's what everything is built on. You can't negate it.
It's much more than a style. It's a language deriving from ancient Greek and Roman sources, but to emerge in myriad forms. And the very fact that classicism flourished as recently as it did is proof to me that it is no dead language like Latin. It's a living language. My name is Francis Moroney. I'm an architectural historian. It was a tremendous delight to be told that I was the recipient of an Arthur Ross Award when these awards began. I was just starting out in my career, and I was always very eager every year to see who were the winners of the Arthur Ross Awards. The awards were established in 1982 to honor achievements in architecture and its allied arts within the classical tradition. The Arthur Ross Award is given for architecture, interior design, landscape architecture, artisanship, fine art, education, history, writing and publishing, community design, patronage, which is for people who commission classical buildings, and then stewardship, the category that includes preservation. Not everyone is given every year. but each of these is an important category, as indeed these things were considered to be all of a piece during the great classical ages.